Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be presenting a brief overview of my paper, which was entitled Co-Mentoring to Build Capacity in Research Administration. My name is Christine McClure, and I bring you greetings from the University of Pittsburgh, where I am the Associate Director for Grants Management, and I want to thank my boss for being here today, along with some of my other colleagues. So when you think about mentoring, people generally think of mentoring from a traditional standpoint. So when I set out to look at co-mentoring and how mentoring was at work within research administration, I had to go to the literature and do a literature review. This actually was born out of some work that I've done for my dissertation around mentoring within higher education. So I went directly back to that work to take a look at that. And what you'll find is when people think of mentoring, they think of mentoring in a traditional sense. And they think of mentoring in a hierarchical way, where someone of more experience mentors someone of less experience. So it usually happens in a more structured fashion where it includes, timed goals, phases. The mentee and the mentor both have expectations, and they have expected outcomes. It's usually done within a planned and dedicated time frame. So that is more structured and more hierarchical, what most people think of when they think of mentoring. Then there's this new contemporary version of mentoring, also known as group mentoring. And what I was able to find out about that in the literature is that it's becoming more widely used in recent years. And it's becoming more used for various reasons. Mostly because it provides a sense of security for everyone in the group, because it's usually done with people who are on the same level. So it's happening a lot in medical schools, it's happening a lot in dentistry and nursing, and that's because those are more cohort-based programs, and those people can feel comfortable to share knowledge and ask questions amongst each other in a safe environment. But then when I started thinking about how mentoring happens within research administration, and just for myself personally, I came from accounts receivable with a background in management and finance. So I knew nothing about grants except how to spell it. So, going down the hall to talk to a colleague and ask them just very practical questions that seemed very simple and very easy for them were very difficult for me. And so I began to build those relationships with those people within the department. And when you think about it, it was more of a co-mentoring, or also known as peer mentoring, that was occurring. And the characteristics for co-mentoring and peer mentoring, it doesn't have that hierarchical imbalance where somebody more senior is mentoring someone of a more junior level. In this relationship that I described, I was able to bring some of those finance and management strategies to the table and share that. So there's a mutual sharing of knowledge between people when there's the co-mentoring relationship. Because each individual in co-mentoring, it's believed and it's espoused that each individual has a certain expertise that they can contribute to the relationship. And it happens pretty organically. As I said, it was, just a relationship developed out of two coworkers. And it usually happens informally. So how the paper would contribute to research administration, and some basic illustrations. When I went to look at co-mentoring within the body or the field of research administration, there wasn't really very little literature that existed. Most of the literature that I've cited in my paper comes from the medical profession and those professions where mentoring is happening in traditional mentoring models. So the research was scant, and there really wasn't much for me to base the paper on within the discipline of research administration. So this hopefully will create some thinking around that for other people to go ahead and do some other additional scholarly writing. So some particular examples, what got me thinking about this paper and putting it together actually was we're going through some changes within our office and our institution, and I had the opportunity to hire a new grants officer onto our team. Of course, we had applicants from external and within the institution, and there was one particular candidate who had some central office experience and some experience in the department. So she came on board, and she's our most recent transplant from the department. So we were immediately able to put her expertise and knowledge into play within our office. Another example is where a central office employee goes to a department and gives that knowledge back on what's happening in a central office. Another is also that one that we see every day in our office is where an attorney's hired from outside, from a firm, and comes on, and they have a grasp of the law, but they don't know anything about research administration, so they enter into those co-mentoring relationships. So the significance of co-mentoring in research, I like to call it the 4 C's, and the first one is collaboration, because it allows new employees to work together using their existing skill sets and knowledge, and it brings new perspectives to old situations. The second one is contribution, because it allows employees to feel valuable and to demonstrate their mastery in the field, the current employees. But it also provides the new employee a way to make an immediate and impactful contribution to their new work environment. The fourth is commitment, and I feel that co-mentoring within research administration builds commitment through promoting positive relationship building. It all gets back to those relationships. It promotes collaboration and confidence for all employees, and it provides a network of support across all levels. And finally is what we're all always trying to strive for, is competence within the discipline. And it develops strong resources, promotes efficiency, and finally, it builds an effective research administration operation that supports the entire research enterprise across institutions. Thank you.